I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 250th anniversary. The pledge is the essential of what it means to be American. Unfortunately, recently many have pushed it out. So, this episode will break down what went wrong with the greatest social experiment. A very special episode of What the F at $. It's America's 250. What does that really mean? America is fighting every front, and as we celebrate the greatest nation's 250th, we need to have a special reflection, because as people are gathering and enjoying parades, the reality. America is on life support, and this should be a wake-up call. America is the beacon of hope, but for how much longer? The famous saying, every great thing comes to an end, and more than ever, the armor of America has been exposed. Today's special episode will break down what makes America great and how to prevent the bleeding and guarantee the next 250. WTF has a format, and we will try to fulfill the format. We have not been on due to issues with YouTube, but the 250th is a big enough issue to have a special episode. As we issued, America is fighting many fronts. America versus traitors. America versus liberalism. America versus media. America versus America. We'll explain. So, the 250th should be a time to celebrate. America is the greatest experiment, but unfortunately it's been attacked by so many. So with no further ado, let's break down the fall of America and how we can prevent it, at least try. Discretion is advised. If you hate America, you will not like this episode, because you are the very factor that bastardized the greatest nation in the world. Let's go. We will start with our favorite cartoon that kind of sum up what we want to discuss. Make Mine Freedom 1948 is a Cold War-era animated propaganda short film that satirizes the dangers of collectivism and communism while promoting free market capitalism and American individualism. Produced by John Sutherland Productions for Harding College, it features a snake oil salesman, Drive Utopia, who tries to convince Americans to trade their freedoms for promises of security and prosperity, only to be thwarted by a common man, John Q. Public, who exposes the downsides of ism. The film, directed by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, was funded by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation and shown in schools and cinemas. Let's enjoy, and further our discussion.
America is many things to many people. To a 17-year-old kid, it's the malt shop on the corner. To Grandpa, it's the front porch in the cool of the evening. To Mother and her family, it's church on Sunday morning. And to Dad, it's his favorite relaxation. It's the Cracker Barrel philosophers in Crabtree Corners. And it's the tycoons in Wall Street. It's all races, creeds, and religions. It's freedom to work at the job you like. Freedom of speech and to peaceably assemble. Freedom to own property. Security from unlawful search or seizure.
Where's your warrant, Flatfoot?
The right to a speedy and public trial. Protection against cruel punishments and excessive fines. The right to vote. And to worship God in your own way. It is these freedoms that have made America strong.
Okay, so we got our freedom. But management's lousing up everything.
Labor is at fault. It's ruining the country.
My constituents, as your elected representative, I can assure you Labor's right, management's right. I'm strictly neutral.
Labor, management, politicians, phooey. They can't tell corn from oats.
Work! Take the money out of it.
Hurry, step right up, folks. Here's the answer to your problems. Dr. Utopia's sensational new discovery, ism. Ism will cure any ailment of the body politic. It's terrific. It's tremendous. Once you swallow the contents of this bottle, you'll have the bountiful benefit of higher wages, shorter hours, and security. Enormous profits, no strikes. Remember, you're the big boss. Government control, no worry about votes. Name your own salary. Bigger crops, lower costs. Why, ISM even makes the weather perfect every day. And now then, because we are introducing this amazing item for the first time in this country, it isn't going to cost you 1 cent. All you have to do is sign this little scrap of paper, and you get your bottle absolutely free.
I hereby turn over to ISM Incorporated everything I have, including my freedom and the freedom of my children and my children's children, in return for which said ISM promises to take care of me forever.
Get out of the way!
Pardon me.
And who are you, my good man?
I'm John Q. Public.
Ah, my fine friend, you're just in time to share this generous and gigantic offer. Sign right here.
Mind if I read it first?
Hurry up, let me see it.
Keep your shirts on, boys. Including my freedom. Freedom? Well, sign away my freedom. Why, this is ridiculous.
Don't be corny, brother.
Sure, our system of free enterprise isn't perfect. But before we throw it away for some imported double talk, let's turn the clock back a few years to see what it's done for us. For example, back in the 1890s, Joe Dokes was just a guy who liked to tinker around his barn. Some people thought Joe was lazy. Some even thought he was nuts. But one day, he had an idea. And because he was free to dream his dream and tinker, Joe had a chance to make something of himself and his idea. So, of course, some people didn't think so much of Joe's idea. But that didn't stop him. So Joe got some money from young Aunt Minnie and Uncle Angus and Grandpappy and Mr. Titus. When Joe's friends and relatives used their savings to help him buy tools and property, they were capitalists. Don't blush, folks. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Now, naturally, Joe needed some help. So he hired Willie Lumpkin, who was out of work anyway, and before long, Willie had the know-how and became skilled labor. Because capital, management, and labor worked together, Joe's idea grew. It grew and did things even he never dreamed of. Today, the automobile industry provides millions of jobs that never existed before. And remember, this is a story of only one industry. There are thousands more scattered all over the United States whose history of development is pretty much the same. We've built a country under the American system that sends more young people to high school and college than all the rest of the world combined. Why, even in the Depression, our wages bought more food, clothing, travel, and entertainment than the wages of any other people in the world. Our country has a national income equal to the total national incomes of any other 6 nations in the world. With only 7% of the Earth's people, we drive 70% of the world's automobiles. That's just a sample of the things the capitalistic system has given us in only 160 years. Before signing up, you boys ought to try a little taste of Dr. Ism's formula to see what you'd get in exchange for your freedom. Go ahead, try it.
You can't do this to me! I'll strike!
The state forbids strikes.
We Wait till the Union hears about this.
Ah, yes, the Union. Welcome to our ranks, number 1313.
I'll take this case to the Supreme Court.
The state is the Supreme Court. Our decision is as follows. No more private property. No more you.
The farm vote will put a stop to this.
Farmers don't vote anymore.
What'll I do for seed next year?
You won't have to worry about next year. The state will do your planning from now on.
We must fight to regain our freedom, or everything is lost. Everything!
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
When anybody preaches disunity, tries to pit one of us against the other through class warfare, race hatred, or religious intolerance, you know that person seeks to rob us of our freedom and destroy our very lives. And we know what to do about it.
And now, gentlemen, no violence, please. And don't throw those bottles. Don't throw those bottles. No! Oh, no! No! Hey! Oh, hey!
Working together to produce an ever greater abundance of material and spiritual values for all. That is the secret of American prosperity.
Make Mine Freedom is an amazing tune. Our friends on Mr. Boinkers have made it as a mainstay, and watching you can see how the cartoon is impactful. Sadly, communism has infiltrated our society and unfortunately accepted. John F. Kennedy stated, "Not what your country can do for you but what you can do for your country." Today's Democrats are not your Kennedy Democrats and have become the very thing he fought against. So, America is fighting communism yet is losing. The greatest nation who embraced the best system, yet cockroaches have destroyed the very strong fabric and have made it weak. The fact, more politicians are embracing communism is clear indication we are in trouble. New York City putting Mamdani, where it has been disastrous. Washington, D.C. is flirting with Janie's Louis George for mayor. And Wisconsin governor candidate Francesca Hong is another choice to destroy the fabric of this great nation. As the point of this program, America is on life support, and liberals are openly looking to pull the plug. Let's have a brief history lesson because ultimately education system has failed many by neglecting the basics. Let's have a brief rundown with the Bill of Rights and the 10 Amendments. First Amendment protects the freedoms of religion, speech, the press, peaceful assembly, and the right to petition the government. The fact many idiotic students want communism, they don't understand they will lose this important amendment. A bigger controversy is how liberals have mastered the bastardization of free speech by creating so many teases. Hate speech is technically protected, but liberals who created most of it will play the game. Second Amendment protects the right of the people to keep and bear arms. The biggest amendment that every idiot mistakes. The forefathers knew the importance of bearing arms. Because of the second, the first is important. The second is the most important because it was embedded as protection against tyranny, while idiots want communism, which is tyranny in the final form. Third Amendment prevents the government from forcing citizens to house quarter soldiers in their private homes during times of peace. Important aspect is during peace, while wartime things are different. Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures and requires the government to obtain a warrant based on probable cause. This has been taken to court several times. Fifth Amendment guarantees the right to a grand jury, protects against double jeopardy and self-incrimination, and ensures due process of law and compensation if private property is taken for public use. Unfortunately, radical judges have created chaos. Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury, the right to confront witnesses, and the right to legal counsel in criminal cases. See the problem of the Fifth. Seventh Amendment guarantees the right to a jury trial in federal civil lawsuits. Our forefathers had the invite to protect the people, yet today's students, teachers and politicians do not. Eighth Amendment prohibits the government from setting excessive bail or fines, and forbids cruel and unusual punishments. Self-explanatory. Ninth Amendment clarifies that the rights enumerated listed in the Constitution are not the only rights retained by the people. One of the amendments that doesn't get the love it deserves, 10th Amendment, states that any powers not specifically delegated to the federal government by the Constitution or reserved for the states are to the people. Unfortunately, many politicians have bastardized this aspect. So, why going over basic knowledge? As mentioned, America is being attacked at so many levels. The first group are traitors. America has many traitors in its midst. When politicians hate the nation they are serving, we have a major problem. Never has our nation been more prone to having treasonous terrorists amongst themselves. The current state of things are problematic. When officials embrace their former nation has many wondering if there should be something to protect the sanctity of a nation by weeding out individuals who are not born here and show allegiance to foreign nations. Currently, Salud Carbajal, Democrat from California, who praises Mexico over U.S. Raja Krishnamurthy, Democrat from Illinois who has criticized America several times. Ted Lieu, Democrat from California who questions United States and wants illegals to vote. Ilhan Omar, refugee from Somalia who has stated her president is the president of Somalia, and this doesn't account all of her stupidity. Our forefathers actually frowned upon this. Why? How can you embrace a nation that you are not from it? So we have a very big problem. Which leads to another problem, at 250 years where we are an established nation where we should start considering to revoke what the Statue of Liberty has been bastardized. Maybe it's time not to bring us your tired. Maybe leave the tired home. No room for the homeless. Maybe at 250 it's time to stop being wanting more because something has changed. First wave of immigrants helped build a nation and assimilated to be part of the nation, yet the new wave hates the new nation and don't want to be part of the nation. So, maybe it's time to consider the change, and because too many have cheated, stolen and broke the system. Statue of Liberty has hurt. Maybe we need to have listened to the famous Benjamin Franklin's motto. Liberty versus safety. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety, deserves neither liberty nor safety. So at 250, maybe it's time to change paths to assure a future 250. America is being attacked at so many levels. It's very unfortunate how many athletes who once looked to embrace America, now we have American-hating athletes. Hunter Hess, freestyle skier, stated that representing the U.S. brought up mixed emotions, and that wearing the flag did not mean he endorsed everything the government did. He faced heavy online backlash and was publicly called a loser by Donald Trump. Let's not get political, but representation of the nation should be the point, not this ugliness. Chris Lillis, freestyle skier, noted he felt heartbroken about ICE policies but explicitly clarified that he loved the country and only wanted to represent an inclusive version of America. The fact illegals have driven drug crimes, rape crimes, and several other criminal activities. America has been one of the most inclusive, so the dumb athlete stereotype is front and center. Amber Glenn, figure skater, criticized the political administration's approach to human rights and LGBTQ+ issues. Many athletes with low IQs and hold personal issues with blinders on. Do they even know what human rights are? Rich Ruohonen Curler used his platform to condemn federal law enforcement over each happening in his home state of Minnesota. What is Ruohonen's view on tax dollars being stolen in the name of illegals? Crickets. Olympics are not only American-hating idiots. Wrestling. Brody King, his F-Ice has made a glorified jobber relevant. Again, back to prior, freedom of speech is fine and dandy. The problem is when illegals that have taken several lives, and this F-Ice approach doesn't account the very basics. How many athletes actually understand laws? I don't wish bad things on anyone, but what if a loved one of Brody King has their life affected by an illegal? Wouldn't that be sweet irony? CM Punk showing up at the No Kings rallies. How stupid is this? Very. The fact US had a revolution to end kings and queens run, shows how the movement is very stupid. CM Punk is an uneducated liberal who thinks he's more important than he actually is. Now to the ultimate loser, Uncle Rico. No. Colin Kaepernick is the poster child of failure and milked his 15 minutes of fame with his anti-American rants. He's a spoiled uneducated idiot who failed at life and wanted to stay in the spotlight because he lacks anything worthwhile. So people getting paid for sports, not actual work, proves being spoiled messes the brain. So long ago, athletes were front and center to being pro-American. Remember the miracle on the ice. February 22, 1980. U.S. men's ice hockey team defeated Soviet Union, and they did it for the country. Sad how things have changed. 250th anniversary. It should awaken many sleeping patriots. Again, not political. If you don't like the government, that is your right. Let's not forget to mention WNBA's Brianna Turner's recent not supporting the 250. WNBA is not being taken seriously now. You have nobodies screaming they don't support the US, how horrible. No one watches the WNBA, and when they speak nonsense, it seems to prove how some athletes are too stupid to understand. Remember, 1970s, if you don't like it, leave it. These self-absorbed idiots should leave this great nation. Major figures accused of holding or expressing such unpatriotic or anti-American sentiments include Michael Moore. The documentarian has long built his career criticizing foundational American operations, from foreign policy and Fahrenheit 9/11 to systemic healthcare. Critics frequently argue he generalizes American faults and misrepresents everyday patriotism. Jane Fonda. Hanoi Jane never loved America, and she continues to voice her dislike. Courtney Love. The grunge singer applied for British citizenship and publicly stated she wanted to leave the United States. Critics felt she reduced the country to cyanide and exhibited imperialist behavior. The Chicks, formerly the Dixie Chicks, during a 2003 London concert, lead singer Natalie Maines stated the band was ashamed the President of the United States is from Texas. They were heavily boycotted by country music fans who viewed the remark as a betrayal of the country itself during a time of war. Robert De Niro and Mark Ruffalo. These prominent actors regularly make headlines for fiery condemnations of U.S. government officials. While they consider themselves to be defending democracy, many conservative groups label their rhetoric as unpatriotic or divisive. Johnny Depp. His famous "It's been a long time since an actor took out a president" against celebrities with limited education but voicing opinions that refers to violence against things they disagree. These are just a few. The sad part, these celebrities think their opinions are more important than the general public. The easiest way to solve this is to eliminate the power in cash. Actors, actresses, celebrities should be subject to their own vices. They seem to support communism, and maybe taking away cash would help curb these idiots from professing misinformation. And that's the biggest problem. Maybe Joseph McCarthy was right. Communism will affect America from within. Back in the day, celebrities kept things secret, but today the rich celebrities make public their lack of knowledge in embracing communism. So, communism based things on worth, and celebrities often are used more as useful idiots. Most are uneducated, and those who are educated are bastardized by failing education system, who will be discussed later. So, America versus traitors and media with celebrities play a major factor. How can we save America for the next 250 years? Cut the snake by the head to kill it, so take money away from celebrities and their poison would be eliminated.
Sorry to interrupt. Happy birthday to America, 250. Here in Chereo, England, we have been an empire for ages, but we have seen something devastating occurring. As we speak, England is losing their identity. You chaps across the pond have something special. I'm sure many of you Yankees don't have a clue what is happening here. The invasion of foreign individuals have been devastating, where crime is up 245%, rape up 185%, and it's only going to get worse. You chaps have a thing called freedom of speech. Hopefully you know how great that is. In our nation, it has been attacked. You could face prison time just voicing opinions against one's pronouns, one's ethnic background and whatnot. Recently, a madman threw a child in a crocodile pit. The 30-year-old was not identified. Details of him being mentally challenged but no name associated with the evil act, while a man attacked several foreign people and his name is plastered along with his picture. England has fallen, so you chaps in the States should appreciate the greatness of your nation. Hopefully you don't suffer what is plaguing all of Europe. Bringing in 20,000 foreign invaders in small towns have created a cataclysmic domino effect. You over the pond should embrace the American values, 250 years of great values. So, I'm shocked to see the same errors occurring and to have your own representation turning a blind eye and actually aiding in the destruction of one of the greatest nation. If anything is obvious is how FIBA soccer has opened the eye to many people that have been lied to. America is the beacon of hope. Hopefully you don't fall prey to what has happened to Europe and more importantly England. Happy birthday chaps, maybe if you fix the problem, Europe will follow your lead. America has always been a great leader. I'm at a loss of how dumb celebrities and athletes have turned their back on the greatest nation. Hopefully you again lead the way. Cheerio. God bless America, may our Queen follow the right path.
As mentioned, America is being attacked by many fronts. America versus liberalism. The idea of the American experiment has been attacked and the idea of liberalism is a problem. The idea we are celebrating 250th anniversary, we have people hating this nation. Joy Reid recently reported we should not celebrate the 250th and the only true experience in America is Juneteenth. This is kind of sad that people have this train of thought. The fact people are still screaming for reparations, which was already paid in full. Many soldiers spilled their blood for the freedom of slaves. Secondly, reparations were given by Abraham Lincoln but Democrats stopped the continuation of benefits. Yes, Democrats. Democrats also filibustered for the longest to keep African Americans from voting. Yes, Democrats. So, when you hear the argument for reparations, there is a big problem. First, who will pay for this? Taxpayers who never had slaves. Second, Democrats who still fight for slavery. Third, Islamic nations who sold the slaves. Fourth and fifth, African Americans and Native Americans who owned the most slaves. Wait, you didn't know? There is an easy way to solve this place. As Joy Reid stated, they don't love America, so maybe it's time to leave. America is 250 years old, and if you don't love it, leave it. Nothing is holding people to stay. Liberalism is dangerous. The movie One Battle After Another was a propaganda mission. It was all in hating America and pushed the idea to fight your own nation. This is scary because it was nominated and won many Oscars not because it was good but it fits the ideology of continuing to hate the greatest nation. Liberalism is all the wave because what's going on from the hidden hatred. Schools have been propaganda machines of creating more hate towards America. Indoctrination has taken over education where teachers are no longer agents of teaching but agents of hate. Many teachers have gone full throttle hate. This is dangerous where tax dollars are going to individuals that are radicalize the future, creating a continuous cycle of hate. Liberalism is a dangerous cancer that has spread controllably. Liberalism has followed the path of journalism where truth is no longer the goal but making people believe what they want you to believe. 250 years and liberals have only created hate, against a nation which they are milking. Why so much hate for the greatest nation? Traitors who have taken this great nation for granted. Ideals that have changed. Liberalism that has exploded with false premise. 250 years, the beacon of hope, fulfilling so many dreams but hated by many. Why? What happened? Many say, great empires all come to an end, and follow the same path. Democracy is actually the problem. Roman Empire falls when percentage overtakes every voice. Hence why this great nation is actually a constitutional republic but idiots push the idea of democracy and often lie. So, why so much hate for a nation that has given so much? As mentioned, this experiment has been bastardized and all those who this nation gave to have raped the kindness. America was always called the melting pot, each culture bringing something special. Unfortunately, along the way, the melting pot was pushed over and America wasn't enough. African American, Mexican American, Indian American, Irish American, so on, not just American, that's a problem. Not being one nation under God is a big problem. Many new immigrants don't want to assimilate, so they don't feel like one nation, breaking at the core what this nation wanted to be. One big group is a big problem. Islamic nations don't want to be part of the NAT but take it over. Several heads have actually stated this. Our forefathers warned if a nation has many parts, it's not a nation. So, if groups don't love the nation they are living, they don't help the structure but actually tears it apart. Unfortunately, America is a Judeo-Christian nation so that's part of the problem. Until this is fixed, America is essentially a house built on quicksand. America is at a crossroads and Americans need to awaken from the slumber. The general statement of this show is America is the greatest nation that is being pulled apart by several evils. Let's be honest, many nations are jealous of the greatness of America. Until we get back the loving the nation, we have people who don't love this great nation but just want to squeeze the wealth. We have people just sucking at the teat of America. Time to fix this. How do we fix these problems? I was born an American, I will live an American, I shall die an American. Daniel Webster. A quick fix, let's get back to being proud of being an American. People finding America for what it stands for, this may bring the pride back. My fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. John F. Kennedy. Maybe this needs to be explored. Too many programs may have made people too weak, which creates a dangerous domino effect. Maybe the country should not be everyone's baby daddy and tough love to build the nation. Americans play to win all of the time. I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man lost and laughed. That is why Americans never lost nor will lose a war, for the very idea of losing is hateful to an American. George S. Patton. This pride for America seems lost where we have representatives, actors, celebrities and whatnot hating the very nation that is the fabric of freedom. Freedom is nothing else but a chance to be better. Albert Camus. Maybe freedom has made the idea of America something easily taken advantage of. It has made people soft and they lose the ideals that our forefathers fought for. Patriotism is supporting your country all the time, and your government when it deserves it. Mark Twain. This is so important because I think the idea has been clouded with so much hate which has been created by so many faults. America is another name for opportunity. Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is so poignant. America is opportunity and this fact alone should be the badge of love for country. Unfortunately, America has been exploited. Opportunity blinded by fleecing. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Martin Luther King Jr. This great strong phrase has been lost. When you don't embrace America you cannot be equal, so why so many groups fighting the idea that Martin Luther King Jr. fought for? My country is the world, my countrymen are mankind. William Lloyd Garrison. My country, this is such a powerful phrase. A recent study shows only 20% of Democrats supporting the American dream and ideals, where they no longer are proud of the greatest nation. The American flag is the symbol of our nation's ideals, our history, and sacrifices made to preserve them. Barack Obama. No, that's not a joke. Barack actually said this, but apparently after his second-term victory, he didn't feel this. Unfortunately, he helped create the hate for the nation and his terms helped create Antifa and BLM, two of the most hateful groups, so what changed? The life of the nation is secure only while the nation is honest, truthful, and virtuous. Frederick Douglass. If you cannot live the nation you are living it, you cannot actually be that building block. America has millions of people who don't want to embrace the truth of the nation. Americanism is a question of principle, of idealism, of character. It is not a matter of birthplace or creed, or line of descent. Theodore Roosevelt. Read that again. Question of principle. This is lost. After 1969, hate has blinded the idea of Americanism, which tells you volumes what went wrong. America is the greatest nation. If you truly don't love it, maybe you don't deserve it. So, simply go back to the 1970s concept. Love it or leave it. If you just want to come to America just to fleece it, then you are the problem. At 250th year, we don't need hateful soulless fools. Defend free speech. Unfortunately, this is the most bastardized concept. Sadly, a lot of idiots will milk the idea of freedom of speech yet will use it for their defense. Prioritize civics. Advocate for school curricula that emphasize the U.S. Constitution, American history, and founding principles of limited government. This is hard with the current education system. Defund education system and a major overhaul is needed. Mass firing and hold many of these people accountable. Champion meritocracy where system based to reward hard work, individual responsibility, and personal merit. Generation Z has been the polar opposite and we need to fix this, and that starts with home and the snowball effect. Strong family with priorities. Help create strong characters. Strong characters create stellar cities. Stellar cities build strong states. Strong states forges strong country. Maybe we need to rethink things and go back to the basics, where it all begins from the family unit. So, the next 250 we need to start today. Our forefathers fought for a small increase in taxes which made people feel cheated. So, Americans need to stop being fleeced. The principle of representatives work for Americans, not the opposite. This needs to be resolved. Remember the idiots protesting no kings, yet they mindless follow representatives, again denying the ideal of America. So, celebrate America and tell your loved ones what America is, and what it could be. If you are an American, you should be ashamed when people openly hate the greatest nation. God bless America, and if this offended you, you are the very ones that should not be part of the fabric of this great nation. One broken brick weakens the walls. People who have become these hateful masses are the cancers that are threatening the greatest experiment. So, happy 4th of July, and deeply consider, do you deserve America? She has given so much, it's about time you give back. America isn't a welfare state. This needs to be eliminated. America isn't a heathen concept, it's built on religion. America isn't driven on kinks. It's driven by freedom. Freedom, that's the very basic. A government taxing and destroying the concept of freedom hidden by lies, so again think what America stands for. If you stand against any element, you are the problem and America doesn't need lice bleeding its concept. So, happy 4th of July and let's keep the 250th dream alive. So, we are winding down. Let's finish off with this famous quote from John Wayne. Sure I wave the American flag. Do you know a better flag to wave? Sure I love my country with all her faults. I'm not ashamed of that, never have been, never will be. Today too many are questioning America and its values. A country is only as strong as the parts of the whole. Today we have anti-American representatives, anti-American celebrities, anti-American citizens. At the 250th we need to go back to what our forefathers fought for. We are watching what happened in Tiananmen Square, a citizen of China fighting communism. So, when idiots claim America is oppressive, this could be happening. So, today let's reflect on the cycles of history, 250 years. America is on life support and it's truly scary. A great nation cannot maintain its greatness if you lower standards, lose its identity, and not embrace what this nation was built upon. If you are an American and embrace welfare, a system that is fleecing hard-working Americans. If you are an American and support Antifa, a military branch of liberalism. If you are an American and embracing communism, the false ideal. Then technically you are not American and the very thing that would help bring rage to red-blooded patriots. Now more than ever we need more patriots and less screaming, weak-wrist haters who only want and never reciprocate. America needs more patriots. America needs more hard-working citizens. America needs more idealists who know the worth of a day's wage. America needs can-do individuals who will sacrifice to give their future prodigy a fighting chance. America needs more people who know the value of the past who sacrificed so much for so many. 250 years for a nation built on a dream not being ruled by kings, but ruled by the people. The greatest experiment has been tested and more than ever, it's time to not go into the night but fight with rage. America, if you were watching, don't fall to the promises of failed systems. Don't fall prey to you or a victim. Don't fall to a future society built on laziness and leeching on the sweat of the working class. What America means is hope, freedom and prosperity, but too many are looking to embrace themselves as false prophets. 250 years and more to come, if only stop the bleeding of the lies of liberalism, communism and amoral societies. So, show your worth and patriotism by taking back America. 1776, a nation wanting to tax people to support systems that only hinder societies. 2026, we are facing the same problem where government wants to tax people into poverty to support illegals, welfare and lazy politicians. America is the home of the free and brave, not of the lazy and uneducated, not of the entitled and scared. God bless America. Happy birthday.